Welcome to the Laser Therapy Institute weekly podcast, the world's first podcast about medical laser therapy for healthcare providers. Each week we discuss the latest research, interviews with experts, and how laser therapy can enhance your practice. Now here is the founder of LTI and your host, Dr. Jason Roundtree.
Welcome back to the Laser Therapy Institute weekly podcast. My name is Dr. Jason Roundtree, and I'm glad you've joined us here today. We talked about this week's podcast in last week's episode. Last week's episode was a lot of fun. We got a few of us together here at LTI and talked about kind of a year in review, all the new things we had done. And then we teased today's episode because this is where we're going to be giving you access for free to a brand new tool set that we've developed. And Jay, our client relations manager, has been the main force behind developing this tool set so that we can get it out to the public and it can help you. Whether you're an LTI client or not, I think you'll find excellent value in using this tool set. So we've got Jay right here. Hello, Jay.
Hello.
Thanks for coming back again this week. This is really exciting to me. As soon as Jay showed me his idea for this tool set, I thought it was perfect because this is going to be a great way for you to learn more about yourself, your clinic, and your ability to implement and have success with laser therapy. So you're going to find a link in the show notes here today that'll take you to this product. And what I want to do is go ahead and have us kind of walk you through what this is. So Jay, what is this?
Well, basically it's to provide confidence, boils down to it. With laser therapy, there's not a lot of resources for how to use it out there, and that's where LTI steps in. And we want to be able to give content for everyone. Those who are considering adding laser therapy, those who have laser therapy, don't use it a lot. Those who got it, they used it, and now they've kind of tapered off of it in the last couple months or years or whatever the case may be. And those who have a lot of experience with laser therapy, but want to make sure they're doing it the right way and are checking off all the boxes. And so that's what we're going to get to with this tool set.
This is pretty neat. So you'll want to go into the show notes, click that link, make sure you get access to this tool set so that you can start to get benefit from this right away. We're going to go ahead and go through it starting from the top though, because you'll see that this helps you no matter what stage of the game you might be in with laser therapies. Let's start with the very first question that practitioners who are looking at this tool set are going to see. What are they going to ask themselves? What's number one?
Do you currently own a Class 4 laser unit?
Do you currently own a Class 4 laser unit? Do you have one? There is nothing wrong with Class 3 laser. And we've done a couple of podcast episodes on this before. But when you're talking about clinically using laser, making this work for you in practice in a way that makes your patients better, and in a way that is doable and profitable for you, you need to be looking at Class 4 devices for a number of reasons. But we won't go into that. Chiefly here the question is, do you have a Class 4 laser unit? Now let's assume you do. You have a laser. Our next thought is,
do you currently utilize it?
Yeah. Are you using this in practice? We found that so many people don't. And a lot of times it comes back to exactly what you were saying a minute ago, Jay, confidence.
Right.
And there's not a lot of education and training available out there, and we see many doctors who struggle with confidence in recommending laser as a part of the care plan, but then even confidence in using it, not knowing exactly how patients might respond.
Well, and that confidence goes to the patients, obviously. I mean, you see a laser unit on the market, and it's a great treatment modality, and you hear that it is, and you see the science behind it, and it's very valid. And so you're really excited to use it in practice, so you get it, and you buy the laser, and it's not a cheap price to pay. So you get an investment into this laser unit, and then you get it, and you're like, oh no, what do I do with it? And so you may, start with it in your practice at first, but then your patients are wondering why they're going to be receiving it. Mm-hmm. And if the providers aren't confident enough in what the treatment is going to do for the patients, then the patients aren't going to receive that confidence as well. So the providers have to have confidence for the patients to have confidence for the laser to be utilized in a clinical setting.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. If you're not confident recommending it, patients aren't going to be confident in buying it. They're going to maybe try out a session or something like that, which we know from the science that's not the way this works. You can't try out laser for a session and see if it works. But if you're a clinician without much confidence, it's hard for you to say, look, you need 18 treatments. We're going to do this for the next 6 weeks, and you're going to have to do this if you're going to get better. That's a hard thing to do unless you've got the education, the training, the protocols, and the resources that you need to really get that confidence. Or here's another one that I see a lot. You do a treatment, and a patient gets extra sore, and they go, oh, I don't want that laser thing. That made me sore last time. And as a clinician, you go, oh, I don't want to make people sore. I don't know why they got sore. And so then you recommend it less. And then it happens again maybe. And then you recommend it less. And eventually that thing starts to just sit in the corner and gather dust. Which takes us to our next question.
Yeah. Have you had a good return on investment for your laser unit?
If you're not using it a lot, you can't have a good return on investment. Or if you're giving it away, you can't have a good return on investment. That's another thing we see. Now, we all want to help our patients as best we can and make it a good deal for them, but you can't give away such a valuable service, and that, again, ties back into confidence.
Right, because if you devalue the service, then it's not going to have the credibility to actually help people. And if it does help people, which we know it does out of experience and all the science behind it, if we know it helps people, then it's our obligation as healthcare providers to give that treatment to patients knowing that it will help them. And we can't be scared to, advocate for a treatment modality because of the apprehension that the patients have just because of a lack of confidence.
Right. So if you're listening and you're saying, you know what, no, I haven't had a good return on investment for this laser, then where do we go from there? Okay, now what?
Yeah, if you don't have a good return on investment, maybe you should even upgrade your laser unit to that class 4 like you were talking about, or something newer that has better capability to improve your patient success.
Yeah, a lot of the older units, many of them were not as advanced as what's out there now. We're seeing 30-watt units out there commonly and higher, 45 and 60-watt units out there, multi-wavelengths with presets that work incredibly well. So maybe if you've not had the best results, you should look at your equipment, evaluate that, and decide if you want to upgrade it. So if you do want to upgrade, where are we there?
Yeah, you can definitely contact us. And this will be where you have it on the tool set that we have for you and the link on this podcast. Is you can get a hold of us and give us some information so that we can better educate you on where you should be able to go with your clinic and your specific situation.
Yeah, he's actually selling this form short a little bit. It's pretty great, but he put it together. So this link that you can go to if you're looking at upgrading your unit, there's a link you can click on that, and it's a survey that we have put together that will talk about what your abilities are in practice, what your goals are, and then we can give you some additional information that can help guide you to some of the best units out there. And what about the people who are going, no, I've got a great unit, but it just sits there. I'm not really interested in upgrading. What do they do?
Well, obviously they can get a hold of LTI. We have a lot of options for them there. But yeah, if you're, you don't need a new laser, you don't need to have that upgrade, and you're really not sure if laser is right for you, before you make that decision, click the other link in here, and this will give you a rundown of the industry and kind of the laser therapy market and what's been going on with it lately, and just medical care in the U.S. specifically as a whole, and kind of the trend of what laser therapy is going. I think it's projected for, I forget the exact percentage, but up until 2027 to have a very steady increase in growth. So it's really exciting because we can get in on this laser therapy treatment that is projected to continue growing as patients are continuously looking for these type of healthcare treatment options.
So if you are having questions so far about what this tool set is, this tool set will give you all the right steps and links to the resources so that you can work through these friction points and decide on what is best for you and your practice. There's great resources in here. We've already talked about 2, but there's even more. So let's go back a little bit, and let's say that somebody's already using laser. They've already got laser in their practice, and they're using it every day. Let's say, what's the next thing we want them to think about?
Well, basically, the staff is a big part of laser therapy treatments because you can have staff members deliver treatments to your patients very simply. I mean, the laser unit is very easy to use. You just get some education with it, and you should have patients be able to confidently receive treatments from your staff members as you see other patients, and make sure your clinic is getting the most profit out of the laser, both with patient success and with just the value coming back on the monetary side of things. So when you're looking at how you have your staff set up in your clinic running, is it running to its highest potential? Is it getting the most flow? Are patients coming in and experiencing the most effective time in your clinic with seeing the provider and getting the treatment and getting out the door, making sure that their experience with your clinic is as positive as it can be for your clinic specifically? So we have in here things that will ask you about, are you confident with training your staff members?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not able to train your staff members specifically on how laser works, then are you able to explain to your patients how laser works?
Right.
And then if you're not able to train your staff on how to implement laser therapy, do you know how to implement laser therapy at its most effective?
Yeah, a lot of this comes back to staff training, right? And confidence on the part of the provider to pass that on to the staff. And that is something that we have provided at LTI for a long time, is training not only for the healthcare provider, but also for the staff to lighten the load on the provider and improve the confidence of both the provider and the staff. Okay, so that's all great if you have a laser, but what if you're one of those many practitioners out there who's just thinking about adding laser? You don't have a good class 4 therapy unit yet, and you're thinking, maybe I should. What's kind of the first step there, Jay, in knowing what they should be doing for their practice?
For sure. If you're looking for laser therapy information, and if laser therapy is as good as we say it is, then check out our resources page. It's linked here in our tool set that we're giving you. And it has a whole bunch of studies on laser therapy's efficacy and how it works with each condition, and the benefits of it. And for a great resource page that you can bookmark and refer back to, just check out the resources page we link to in this guide.
Once you know more about laser, it's easy to get more confident and more excited about it too, and you are going to want to pass that on to your patients. Because if your patients understand what type of treatment they are getting, they're going to be more of an active participant in that treatment. They're going to have better success rates, and they're going to spread the word for you. They're going to be out there preaching the laser gospel, if you will, and getting their friends and their family and their neighbors to come in and see you. So what else can we do to help doctors educate their patients?
Yeah, we have a lot of patients come to us and looking for laser therapy for the research on it, because they've seen, studies on it and how it can help their specific condition, because that's what patients are concerned about. I have this condition, what treatment option do I have available to me? And so they research it and they find Laser Therapy Institute. They reach out to us and be like, hey, is there a member clinic near me? So they can reach out to us there, and we try to get a hold of people in their area to see if we can introduce laser therapy to that region. And patients will be looking at our resources and trying to understand, and of course, some of the more medical, technical side of things they may not comprehend as well. So what we have done is Dr. Roundtree has this Healing at the Speed of Light podcast specifically for patients, as this podcast is specifically for medical providers.
Yeah, and you've probably seen this in practice. Patients are educated now. They go on Google, they look up their symptoms and their conditions, and they come to you with they've already made their own diagnosis, or they've already done the research on what kind of treatment they want, and they're coming in more prepared, more armed with knowledge. And we've seen a real big hunger for knowledge when it comes to laser therapy, because many times patients just think you're waving some magic red light around, and they want to know more about it. They want to know more about, okay, is there really evidence behind this working? And so we've been able to take studies, scientific studies on laser therapy, and condense them down to easily digestible 10 to 15 minute segments that your patients can hear about what laser therapy research has been done, and know that what you are doing is backed by research. So the next question to answer, if you're looking at laser therapy as something to add to your practice and you want to know more about it, you're looking at our resources page, you're passing on podcasts and things like that to your patients to educate them, really, are you looking for clinic growth? Because if you are, then there's a couple things you should do there.
Yeah, a huge part of Laser Therapy Institute is providing clinic growth. As Doctor, you alluded to earlier, you said that patients are your biggest advertisers. They're going to be referring patients in because of the success they've had with their treatments through laser therapy at your clinic. And for patients to have that success, of course, you need the education and the training to be able to give those treatments. So, of course, Laser Therapy Institute is here for that purpose, to be able to provide you the training so you can have that clinic growth. Obviously, if you have the success there, you won't even have to spend much money on marketing because your results will speak for themselves. And we're going to be having courses that will get more into the administration side of things and how to grow your clinic and having the strategies for that, as well as the training to provide the laser therapy itself.
Yeah, the laser therapy training is really important because the results, like you said, absolutely do speak for themselves. And that's going to stimulate the word being spread. But there's more to that as well on the administrative side. If you're having to hire more people to run the laser, if you're having to deal with pricing and billing concerns and plans, you need probably, in most cases, you need some help making that happen. That's another aspect that Laser Therapy Institute has been built to provide, is that clinic administration side, so that you can be successful not only with your patient results, but also with the way you manage your staff, the way you manage your clinic, and the way that you can guide your practice growth.
And that's exactly why we have the next part of this tool set, is this checklist to make sure you're doing everything you need for that clinic growth and for your laser therapy success.
Yeah, this checklist is how you can start to put some of this knowledge to the test and see where you're at, see how well prepared your clinic is. And it's got 13 different items on here, some of which you may not have been able to cover yet or may not have thought about yet. And one of them is that you have a designated laser safety officer. You know, in really every clinic with a laser, someone should be the laser safety officer. If you've not got that covered, you need to get that taken care of. And that is something else that we will walk you through and make sure that you are well prepared for. As a certified medical laser safety officer, I'm able to provide you with everything you need for that and nothing that you don't need. There's no reason to go overboard on your safety protocols because laser therapy is so safe. There's just a few things that you need to follow. There's a few checklists you need to have on hand and some tracking that you need to do. It's not that complicated, but we've been able to put together a course so that you can jump right in, not wonder if you're doing the right thing, know that you're doing the right thing, and make sure that you're getting all the missing pieces.
And if you're, just starting out and wondering if laser therapy is right for you, it can be overwhelming to have this strategy and plan of how you're going to implement laser therapy into your practice, how you're going to introduce it to your patients, how you're going to introduce it to your staff, and how you're going to execute it for the next couple of weeks, months, and years to come. And having that game plan ahead of you is a great tool to have, and something you really need to have before you jump right in is kind of a projection of how it's going to work. And even if you are having laser therapy and you've been doing it for a while, just to go back and make sure that you're doing everything. And there are things that you may not have realized you could do or should do, and it's a great tool to remind you of the things that you may have originally said, oh, I'm going to do that, but whenever you get into it, you get into the weeds and you start doing the work, that you may forget about something that you remembered 2 months ago. So this will be something that you can refer back to as you go throughout, and you can download it and have it as a tool set for months to come as you continue to progress in your laser therapy clinic growth.
And again, absolutely free, you guys. So go to the show notes, click the link. You'll be able to download this 2-part tool set that includes the checklist. It's got links to all these different resources. I'm really impressed with this. Jay's done a fantastic job putting it together, organizing so many things that we already offer into a format that's easy to use, easy to access, and will get you a lot of information absolutely free. If we can answer some questions for you, if you need some additional guidance, or you're looking to find some good training for you and your staff, please email us, info@lasertherapyinstitute.org, or just go straight to the website. You can contact us that way. Download this tool set, take a look, and you know what? I'd love your feedback. Is this valuable? Is this useful to you? What can we add? What else would you like to see on this tool set after you go through it? What are you noticing? Please give us your feedback. As a matter of fact, if you're enjoying this podcast, scroll down to the bottom, and if you would, please leave us a 5-star rating or review. That really helps other doctors and providers find us, and would love to see your feedback. Next week, we've got another special edition coming. We're going to sit down and tell you what is coming in this next year. We have some major plans for new course development, new content, all coming out. All of our clients, all of our members get access to all this brand new content as it's introduced. There's never any upgrade fees. You get a notification every time we publish something new, and we've got so much planned. Can't wait to talk to you about it. So thanks for joining us this week. I'll catch you next time.
Subscribe now to keep learning about the growing field of laser therapy. Check out our patient-focused podcast, Healing at the Speed of Light, a great resource for your patients. For massive practice growth and improved patient outcomes, become a certified Laser Therapy Institute clinic. Learn how at lasertherapyinstitute.org.